Good afternoon, everybody. Just going to do an unboxing video. A couple of weeks ago I sent for some Sudan War figures from Newline design company, and just received the box today. Quite substantial box, and so I'm going to open her up and see what we've got inside here. I hope it's actually the right package and it is what I think, otherwise it's going to be a very short video if it's my wife's hairdryer or something that she's ordered. I still can't get over the excitement of receiving parcels through the post like this, that childish kind of feeling of excitement. Oh, first out of the box, we've got 24 modest infantry on foot. Newline designs. Now, I don't know how easy these are going to open. Leave that one for later. That's modest infantry. Right, and that, if I'm not very much mistaken, is camel core. So, my glasses on. See if I'm seeing what you're seeing. Yeah, seeing quite nice castings. Quite happy with that at the moment. This is the 1884 expedition on camels through the Bayouda Desert to try and reach Khartoum and rescue General Gordon, who was besieged by the Mahdi. These figures would primarily have been in a blue, I believe it's a blue serge, blue grey jacket with brown corduroy type trousers. There were many variations. I've seen many different illustrations of what it should look like, but safe to say there were some of the camel corps were in I think who came from India were in khaki, but the new uniform specifically for this expedition, and particularly for the camel corps, was as I say, blue jackets, blue grey jackets, which you've got to do a bit of mixing to get the colour right. I did these many years ago. I did 25mm figures from Redoubt, and I painted about 60 or so foot figures, and did a small representative force of camels, and I mixed up my own blue grey, and if I say so myself, I got it fairly close. I was quite happy with that, according to the illustrations. I've got Highlanders here. I've got marching Highlanders. I don't think the Highlanders on foot were part of the expedition as such. They fought in some battles elsewhere and afterwards, but I always like a few Highlanders. And yeah, always like to paint those up, so that they will probably have come from India, and although some of them, I believe the Gordon Highlanders would have also been in a blue grey tunic. But yeah, it's a very curious expedition. There was a lot of there were a lot of unusual uniforms going around, including 20 men of the Royal Sussex Regiment who who went on the steamers up the Nile. Too late to rescue Gordon, but the idea was that 20 men in red coats would somewhat impress the natives, but of course they were 2 days too late. Everyone's favourite, a piper. They really do seem quite well cast. They're a nice size. They look like they would have actually tied in with plastic 1/72 scale figures. So we've got some. This is the other one, which again wouldn't have actually been with the Gordon Relief Expedition, but York and Lancs Regiment. They were, I believe, in a sort of khaki colour, with bed rolls wrapped around them. You can see here. I think they were at the Battle of Tamai or Tamay, and they had their I think their blankets wrapped around them, and they were kind of specific for that regiment. There's a famous painting of the Battle of Tamai, in which the York and Lancs feature heavily. And as I say, you're always identifiable by the blanket roll around the body. York and Lancs. Oh, and some officers, and it looks like Sudanese cavalry. I think I got a representation of most of the range. I mean, except for the Egyptian forces, I got mostly Dervish, and well, I got all Dervish and all British, and I tried to take more or less a pack of each, and you know, I'll order more as necessary. And there we are. Sudanese cavalry. Yeah, they very much would have fitted in with the hat range. So I don't know, as I say, I got a bit fed up of the rubbery compound that the hat figures were in, and scraping them, and all of these things. I decided that I'd done enough work on plastics for the moment, and yeah, that's all traditional dervish there. I think the Hadendowa tribe, if I'm not much mistaken, the Fuzzy Wuzzies, feared, respected by British troops. Oh, nice size, about an inch high, and yeah, all good. I sent an original order, and then sent another order, and I'm not sure. I think I've got all the orders together here. There's more. I won't take them out of the bag, but more Mardis cavalry. I think yeah, I think he has put the same order in. Yeah, or has he? Yes, it looks like 2 orders in one, and then I've got one outstanding of some Mardists on horseback. This would be the British Camel Corps. We've got again, this will be the blue-grey jacket, and beige or tobacco coloured trousers. That's going to be quite an imposing figure when he's done. quite nice casting, and again that would have I think that would have very much tied in with hat figures, but no, I think I'll go all metal this time. I mean, there's cleaning up to do, but it's cleaning up that's relatively simple and effective. You can't do too much damage with the metal figures, but the plastic ones, they just seem to you know, when you try to scrape the flash off of them or cut the flash off, you end up making an awful mess, and I'm not sure what you're left with is any worse than if you'd have just left the flash on there in the first place. So yeah, quite pleased with those, like the size of them. Obviously I won't be going into facial detail at this scale, but I shall give them a wash, and maybe a little bit of shading here and there. But I think, as I say, that's my 2 orders in one, and then I've got Mardis cavalry still to come. I think they're all accounted for, although I seem to remember I did order a General Gordon. I would like to show you General Gordon if he's in this lot. There's oh, that's another one. This is the generic colonial range, and as they very often were called on to do, this is British infantry in shirt sleeve order. So they've taken their jackets off, they've settled down for a cup of tea, and then the dervishes have inconveniently decided to attack. So they've rushed to their rifles, and again the shirt would have been, I think, a grey shirt, greyish shirt, differing from the tunic in terms of that being blue grey, but quite nice figures, quite nice style. Oh, I've got a mounted emir. Still no sign of Gordon. I think he's maybe that was my one-piece casting, and yeah, he's very nice actually. He's very nice. Nice detail on there. Everything picked out that you could hope for. Yes, I think that appears to be that. I've still got some. I think I've still got some figures coming. General Gordon may well be in there somewhere, hiding, but I don't see him. Largest infantry. Okay, that would appear to be that. So I'm going to get on with these tonight, and I've had a few days off from painting. I always worry I lose the either the skill or the will, but yeah, I quite pleased with these. I like the look of them, and I shall make a start on these. I think yeah, no sign of General. Oh, speak of the devil. Look, I must show you this before I go out. He's only really going to be useful with Egyptian infantry and on the stairs of the governor's residency, but I had to have General Gordon. I've already got him in a very nice little vignette from Perry Miniatures. They supply a couple of dervish tribesmen crouching at the foot of the palace steps, which is in resin, with a little bit of the palace wall, and Gordon appearing at the top, very much like Charlton Heston in the film cartoon. And I haven't got around to painting that yet, but that's in 28mm from Perry's. Very, very nice little set. I also got from them, actually, I must mention very quickly, 28mm Bedford hospital truck with the characters from the Ice Cold in Alex film, if you remember, with John Mills, Anthony Quayle, Harry Andrews and Sylvia Sims, who who was the love interest, and I believe there's also a MASH 4077th TV set. We all know about the Dad's Army set that I think was it War Games Foundry did some time ago. But yeah, there's a lot of these TV and film tie-in sets, and I believe the MASH one is pretty good with all the main characters and a small kind of operating theatre, and Hawkeye and BJ, and if you know the show, you'll know who I'm talking about. But my Ice Cold in Alex set comes with a very nice Bedford ambulance, and Johnny Mills, and as I say, all the others from that film. That film, by the way, I think it was only spoilt by the Series 1 Land Rover that featured at the very end. I don't think they'd have been around in 43, 44. But anyway, I'll end here, and I'll better get scraping and filing. Thank you, everybody.